Hey, what's going on, Daniel and Sir Uga? All right, how y'all guys doing tonight? All right, man. Let's get this stream started. So wait a few minutes, maybe back a minute or two. See if anybody else pops in here, and then I'll pull up the screen. We'll look at last week in the SEC, and we had some games there were some decent games last week, and then we'll up, Richard, and then we'll look ahead to this week in the SEC. There's like what there's about two games that could be intriguing, but there's still a bunch of cupcake games. Can't wait till week number. I think it's week number 5 before we start getting everybody playing SEC games. So, but hopefully that happens. That's why really the early part of the year, man, is rough when you got all these cupcake games. So maybe when the SEC goes to 9 SEC games, and it'll kind of change that kind of stuff like that. So, but all right, man. Let's see here. Let me pull up this. Let's see. Let's see. This is it. Let's see. This is it. Where is? Hold on. I'm trying to find the right there. Why is it not showing up? It's not letting me pull it up. There it is. Hiding on me. All right. Anyway, let's look at last week a little bit here. As first, okay, well we'll do Sir Uga's game, as Georgia last week played Ball State, and they got they didn't score in the first quarter, but they kind of put the pedal to the metal going second quarter on, as the Dogs win 45-3. Carson Beck had 2 touchdowns, an interception, threw for 283. Robinson ran for only 38 yards and a touchdown. And Smith was the leading receiver for 2 carries and 50 yards for the Bulldogs. So yeah, not much to say about this game. Georgia they went out and did what they had to do against a lesser opponent. Yeah, they started off slow, but they did what they had to do. They scored 45 points. They won by 42. So yeah, not much to say. Not much to say about that game. All right, we got Alabama and Texas as the Longhorns. As the Longhorns went on the road and they defeated Alabama 34-24. It's Quinn Ewers, man. Quinn Ewers was by far the best quarterback on the field last week. 3 touchdown passes. Milroe threw 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns for Alabama. I don't know if I saw Bama's making a quarterback change for this week, so we'll discuss that. We'll discuss that when we go over this week's games. But Texas scored 21 fourth quarter points to get the victory over Alabama. As Brooks was leading rusher for Texas, McClellan for Alabama, Sanders lead receiver for Texas, and Prentice was lead receiver for Alabama. But this was a big win for Texas. I didn't see Texas going in Alabama winning, so I really didn't. I thought Alabama was going to win that game. But Quinn Ewers, man, if Quinn Ewers hadn't gotten hurt last year, they probably would have beaten Alabama last year. All right, now we got Tennessee and Austin Peay as the Governors. Tennessee only wins 30-13. Tennessee really hasn't looked good. I mean, they beat Virginia. Virginia's 0-2. Although I know they won in the night against Maryland, but the Volunteers really, I don't know. I don't know if I trust them this week against Florida, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that shortly. As Milton threw for 228 and 2 touchdowns. Wright had 118 yards on the ground, and Keaton had 52 yards receiving for the Volunteers. as they improved to 2-0 on the season. All right, now we got LSU and Grambling. Yeah. LSU wins 72-10 as LSU's defense started off really slow in this game. As Grambling ran for a bunch of yards in this game. I mean, they ran for 163 yards, 5.6 yards per rush, which is that's not good for a defense when you give up that many yards and that average. That's definitely gonna have to change this week. This week against Mississippi State. But the Tigers, they did what they had to do. They pulled away. They pulled away in the second quarter. Midway through the second quarter on, they started to pull away. Especially their defense kind of tightened up, and they did what they should have done early on. But they win 72-10 over Grambling State Tigers. The Battle of the Tigers there in Baton Rouge. All right, we got Ole Miss and Tulane. As Ole Miss wins 37-20. As the Rebs, as Jackson Dart got the start, 2 touchdowns in the pick. Now Tulane didn't have their quarterback. If Tulane had Pratt, this game probably would have been a lot closer than this. Maybe Tulane would have had a chance to win, but without Pratt, I kind of figured Tulane wasn't going to have they weren't going to win this football game. As Judkins only ran for 48 and a touchdown, Wade was the leading receiver for the Rebels, 7 receptions and a buck 06. As Ole Miss is 2-0, the Rebs 2-0 on the season. So we'll see what the Rebels can do going forward. They got a big game coming up in a few weeks against the Tide. But they did what they had to do. All right, here was another upset in the SEC as Miami beat Texas A&M 48-33. As A&M might have a defense problem. I don't know if I think their offense is pretty good. I think A&M has a defense problem. As Wegman threw for 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. And Daniels ran for a touchdown for 62 yards. And Stewart was the leading receiver, 11 receptions for 142. I think A&M's offense is going to be good this year. Their defense might be their Achilles heel this year. So they definitely miss Mike Elko. As Elko is now the coach of the Blue Devils over there at Duke. But A&M 1-1. Now their schedule sets up nicely the next few weeks. But then once they get in the SEC gauntlet, we'll see what A&M. That's gonna be the telltale sign for Jimbo. Is when they get in the SEC gauntlet. What happens with Jimbo? All right, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons defeated Vanderbilt 36-20. As Vanderbilt falls to 2-1, they were 2-0. As Swan threw for 314, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Smith was leading ball carrier for the Commodores, 77 yards on the ground. And Humphreys, leading receiver, 4 catches for buck 09 and a touchdown. So Vanderbilt falls from the unbeatens as they fall to the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, 36-20. So, all right, let's see what we got next. We got Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky. As Kentucky, the Wildcats, they eke out a 28-17 victory over the Eastern Kentucky Colonels. Kentucky might be a long season for the Wildcats. They should have beaten Eastern Kentucky by a lot more than this, but they did get the job done. As Leary threw for 4 touchdowns and an interception. Threw for 299 yards. Davis was leading ball carrier. 12 carries, 52 yards. Robinson, 6 receptions for a buck 36 and 2 touchdowns. But you think Bobby Petrino will take over the head? I saw that rumor. If Jimbo does get indeed, let's say he does get fired. Let's say they go 5-7, he gets fired. Yeah, but I think Petrino, depending upon how the offense pans out, Petrino might get a look. Petrino was doing well at Arkansas until his off the field stuff caught up with him. All right, now we got the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Kent State Golden Flashes. As Arkansas scores 7 points in each quarter, they win 28-6. KJ Jefferson threw for $136 and 2 touchdowns. Green, 82 yards on the ground for Arkansas. And with T-Sly, 3 receptions for 51 for Arkansas as they improved to 2-0 this season. But once we'll find out a bunch of these SEC schools when they get into the conference play. We'll find out what they have. It's kind of hard to gauge when you're playing lesser opponents. So the Razorbacks they go to 2-0 on the season now. All right, we got Missouri and Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. As Missouri barely they eke out a 23-19 victory. Missouri might be another team looking for a coach in the year. Depends upon how their season turns out. As beating Middle Tennessee by 4 points isn't very it's not something to be proud about. Only beating them by 4. Middle Tennessee is not really. Middle Tennessee shouldn't be competing against an SEC school, but Missouri does get the win. They go to 2-0. Cook threw for 2 touchdowns and 204. Schrader 23 carries for 84, and Burden 8 receptions for $117 for the Missouri Tigers. As Missouri goes to 2-0 on the season. Only a few more games to go over, then we'll look towards this coming weekend. All right, we got the Florida Gators. Florida Gators get their first victory of the year as they did what they needed to do against McNeese, 49-7. They did what they were supposed to do against a lesser opponent. As Mertz threw for 193 and a touchdown. As Johnson ran for 119 and 2 touchdowns for the Gators, and Pearsall had 6 catches for $123 for the Gators. So look, the Gators did what they had to do. They bounced back after their tough loss against Utah on the road. So the Gators got a big game coming up this Saturday night again in the Swamp that we'll look at. All right, now we got we got Mississippi State as they win in overtime against Arizona, 31-24. As Arizona turned the ball over 5 times in this football game, and it's still it still is a 7-point game. I mean, you turn the ball over 5 times, you should lose by a lot more than 7 points. But Rogers threw for $162. Marks. Man, Mississippi State's a running team. They're a running football team now. They're not like they used to be. As Marks ran for 123 on 24 carries. Griffin, 5 receptions for 83. Yeah, the air raid is not here anymore. Mainly because Mike Leach unfortunately passed away. But Mississippi State's getting back to being a ground team. All right, we got South Carolina South Carolina at home against Furman. As they win 47-21 as they beat the Palladians. As they proved the 1-1. Spencer Rattler threw for 3 touchdowns, 345 and through the air. Joyner, 42 yards on the ground. Leggett had 6 catches for $118 for the Gamecocks as they get their first win of the season. All right, then we got the last game to go over from last week as Auburn went on the road to Cal and they eked out a 14-10 victory. I believe they scored a touchdown in the 4th quarter to pull ahead. Auburn didn't look good in this game at all. Cal's not a good football team. Thorne threw for only 94 yards, 2 touchdowns in the pick. Hunter ran for 53 yards for Auburn. And Fairweather, 3 catches for 39 yards and a touchdown for the Auburn Tigers. So Hugh Freeze has his work cut out for him. This is probably going to be a long season for Auburn. Just be a long season. Let's see. Let's go to week number 3. As we got some games we got a few games this week. We got 1 conference game, 2, 3. I think that's it. Yeah, only 3 conference games this week. I was connected to the wrong internet. Hold on, I gotta fix this. I see the problem now on my internet. I was connected to the wrong internet. So I think that's been a problem this whole time. As Yeah. Yeah, he was interim coach. I think that's been a problem this whole time is my computer's been connected to the wrong internet. I think that's been a problem this whole time. So yeah, I'm talking about week number 4. We still have some out of conference games. It's week 5 is where they really get to the full slate of conference games. But right. All right, let's look over week number 3 in the SEC. Week number 3. All right, we got the first game. It's an early game. It's going to be 11 o'clock local kickoff, 12 o'clock over there on the East Coast. As LSU goes on the road, they're going to face Mississippi State. As now Vegas has LSU as a 9.5-point favorite. Over under is 54. Man, I would love to know what Vegas feels about this game. Being a 9.5-point favorite. I don't know. I don't know if I feel that or not, but I mean LSU's having problems with the run defense, so this could be a tricky game for LSU if their defense comes out like they played against like they did the second half against Florida State and the first quarter and a half against Grambling. LSU's going to lose this football game. They're not going to win. Their defense needs to play like they did in the first half against Florida State. Because they played well in the first half against Florida State, and then I know it's Grambling, but they're gonna have to. But they got to do what they needed. They did what they needed to do against Grambling in the second half. But I know it's Grambling, and take it with a grain of salt. But that defense needs to get back to doing those things if they want to be successful this week against Mississippi State. Because Mississippi State runs the ball well, really well, and this guy Marks for Mississippi State, man. He has 250 yards on the season, averaging 5.8 yards per rush for the Bulldogs. That's getting it done. 5.8 yards is that's a really good average. But I think this game will be close. I think this game is going to be closer than what Vegas says. I don't think this game is going to be as lopsided as the the predictors say, but we'll find out. There's a reason why Vegas is Vegas. All right, we've got another early game. We got Kent State going on the road to face Missouri, as Kent State is a 3.5-point favorite over the Missouri Tigers. Both teams are 2-0, but Kansas State is by far the better football team, and Missouri is going to have to play mistake-free football if they want to win this game. They're not on the same level as Kansas State. This game could get a little more than that 3.5 point spread. I just don't know if I don't know about that spread. I think that spread maybe could be a little bit higher, but we'll find out. But Sarkis says Petrino is terrible. Petrino is terrible. All right, we got here he goes. We got the South Carolina Gamecocks against the Georgia Bulldogs. Look at ESPN. They give Carolina an 8.3% chance of winning this football game. What are they smoking? As Georgia is a 27-point favorite. This game has the potential of really getting out of hand. I just don't think South Carolina matches up well against Georgia. They got problems, protecting the quarterback. Does the Gamecocks? They give up 9 sacks against North Carolina, and North Carolina really isn't that good. So this game really could be like a 30-point win for Georgia. They're going to cover. I think they'll cover the spread. So I'll say 30 points for the Dogs. I just don't see how. I just don't see, even if Carolina plays lights out, even if Carolina gets, let's say Carolina gets, forces 3 turnovers, and Georgia plays their C game. I still don't see Carolina even having a chance winning this game. I don't see it. I just don't see it. All right. Oh, well, here's an intriguing game. You got Alabama going. Alabama's going on the road to South Florida. I thought they played at home. Why is Alabama going to South Florida? Oh man. All right. So, wow. ESPN actually gives South Florida a 1.4% chance of winning this game. Alabama's a 33.5-point favorite. I mean, come on, man. Alabama's going to bounce back, and they're going to win this game. Alabama fans are going to talk about how they're back. Man. So just, App State's offensive line's better than USC's. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. But, Bama would win this game if they played Milroe. South Florida's not even come close to this game. I wonder why are they playing this game in South Florida? That's kind of weird. All right, and we get into the late games in the evening, as we got. I think I missed one. Hold on. I did. I missed UL Monroe and Texas A&M. Yeah, so the A&M Aggies at home against the UL Monroe Warhawks. Man, I mean, they give Monroe a 2.4% chance of beating A&M. They're not beating A&M. Just not happening. Who coaches USF? I have to look up. Let's see here. Hold on. Who coaches South Florida? Hold on. South Florida Bulls. Is it Alex Golich? He's in his first year. Some guy named Alex Golich. Where's he from? Let's see. He was the OC at Tennessee last year. That's what he was the OC at Tennessee last year. All right, so he actually knows offense a little bit, but A&M is gonna win this game. I mean, they're favored by 36.5 points. Wow, man. I don't know if they'll cover 36.5. I don't know if Texas A&M is gonna cover 36.5, but that's a lot of points to cover. But they're definitely gonna beat UL Monroe. All right, now we got the Gators at home in the swamp against Tennessee. Tennessee hasn't beaten Florida in Gainesville since 2003. They actually beat them in 2001, and they beat them in 2003. And they haven't beaten Florida since then. It's been 20 years since they've won in the swamp. And I think this game is going to be closer than what people maybe think. Tennessee is fair only by 5.5. I mean, Tennessee hasn't beaten anybody really. Virginia's garbage, and they didn't look good against Austin Peay. Now I know Florida's not good either. You know, they lost to Utah, and they didn't look good losing to Utah, and they beat McNeese State. So what? I think this game hasn't been. I mean, I wouldn't shock me if Florida wins this game. I mean, all joking aside, I think Tennessee's going to win. I think Tennessee's going to win the game. But it just something about the swamp and Tennessee. They haven't won there in 20 years. Don't be surprised, man. Don't be surprised if Florida actually pulls off the upset in this game. I mean, don't be too shocked. But I think Tennessee's going to win. All right, now we got Samford. They're gonna play Auburn Tigers. Another ho-hum game in the SEC. And Auburn. They're gonna win. I mean, Samford's not beating Auburn. There's not even a spread on this game. Not even a spread. So I mean, that just tells you what Vegas thinks about this game. Is there's not even a spread. I'm sure there's a spread somewhere, but. Yeah, it's Auburn still trying to resolve their quarterback issues as they host in-state Samford of the Southern Conference. Well, their quarterback issues will get resolved for 1 week because Auburn's going to name their score against Samford, and if they don't, then they really got problems. What's up? Yeah, Milroe did make a lot of mistakes. Good athlete, really good athlete, but Milroe made a lot of mistakes last Saturday night. But I just don't know if he's a good enough passer in the SEC on an elite level. Oh yeah, no, look at this game. Vanderbilt and UNLV. What did he do? I mean, this game is actually Vanderbilt's actually a favorite by 5 points. I mean, I guess they should. I guess Vanderbilt should eke out a win against UNLV. 54% chance, 54.2. Well, I like how they have 54.2. So yeah, you got to read a defense, Brock. You got to read a defense in the SEC. If you can't read a defense in the SEC, then it's not going to be good. Yeah, you got to know where the defenders lining up. Are they running zone, man to man? Are they bringing pressure? You got to know what protections are put to call out. Yeah, if you can't read a defense in the SEC, it's not going to be good. But yeah, Vanderbilt. I guess they're going to beat UNLV. I don't know. I don't know. They do. This game's in the over there in Elijah, the Death Star over there. Yeah, they got to go on the road to UNLV. Man, they might lose that game. All right, Ole Miss and Georgia Tech. This is an intriguing matchup. I know. If you look at the predictor, Ole Miss a 90%. They give Ole Miss a 90.1% chance of beating Georgia Tech. Man, 17.5-point favorites. Man, I think Ole Miss is going to win, but man. But I think this game might be a little closer than 17.5. But that guy Buckner from Notre Dame, he'll more than likely. I believe he'll do better than Milroe, especially reading defenses and stuff like that. And Tommy Reese knows him because he coached him. So I was surprised he wasn't named the starter week 1. I thought that's when they got transferred to Alabama. I thought that's who they were going to start week 1. But I guess they wanted to give Milroe a chance, but he didn't. Milroe kind of failed in this big time performance against Texas. So, but so Ole Miss. Ole Miss should win this game. I don't know more than 18 points because you got to cover the spread, 17.5. I don't know. Ole Miss has a good offense. Not really sure about their defense. I said if Tulane had Pratt last week, that game would have been a lot closer. So curious to see how Ole Miss plays this week at home against Georgia Tech. A game that they should win comfortably. All right, we got only a few more games to go over here in the SEC, and they both out of conference. Yeah, I can't wait till we have a full slate of conference games to go over. That's like in week 5. So BYU will go to is this game in Little Rock or is this game in Fayetteville? Okay. Arkansas has 79.1% chance winning against BYU. BYU, a new team in the Big 12. So this is a Power 5 game since BYU's in the Big 12 now. So yeah. Yeah, they gave Milroe a chance. Saban was hoping that he could beat Texas. Yeah, I agree with that. Because he is athletic. No, Milroe is very, very athletic, man. If he was able to read defenses and pass the ball better, he could be a real threat at quarterback because of his ability to run the ball. He's really, really quick and fast. But if you're a one-trick pony, teams can defend one-trick ponies a little bit easier. So I think that's why Saban's still a smart coach. That's why he's making the change. So Arkansas definitely should beat BYU. What's the point spread? Only 8. I'm gonna say they'll cover that. All right, what's the last game? Oh, Kentucky and Akron. Another freaking ho-hum game, man. That's the Zips. The Kangaroos go to Kentucky. Kentucky probably will go to 3-0 in the season. 95% chance of winning. Favored by 25 points. So, yeah, one's a 4-3. Man, geez. That's fast, man. 4-3 is fast. But, I think that's why I think Saban wanted to see what an athletic quarterback can do in the SEC. Get back to the Kentucky game. I mean, that's not much to say about this game. I mean, Kentucky's favored by 25. They should definitely win this game by. They should have no problem in this game. Yes, we got a few games this week that could be really good. LSU, Mississippi State, Tennessee and Florida. I say Tennessee and Florida. Tennessee and Florida, man. I just something tells me, man, that game really could be a better game than what some people think it's going to be. I just don't. Tennessee hasn't beaten that man in like 20 years in the swamp. So I just I don't know, man. I think that game could really be interesting. It's in the swamp. It's at night. And this game can go one or two ways for Florida. They can get blown out, or they can make it close. Or it can go 3 ways. They can get blown out, they can make it close, or they can win. This game really could set the tone of what happens to Billy Napier. A lot of people think that Tennessee's going to blow Florida out, man. They haven't beaten Florida in 20 years in the swamp. So, and there's been some times in that period where they were favored in the swamp, they didn't win. So, but like I said, Billy Napier's career, his Florida career, could be. It could go one or two ways this week, man. If they go out and get blown out against Tennessee, and Florida comes out and they go 5-7 or 4-8 into the year, they very might well dump Napier. I agree. I think Florida will come out and play very well at home, being at night in the swamp. I mean, playing in the swamp at night is a little different animal. So at least it won't be so hot though. When they play the swamp during the day is really, really hot. But I can't wait till it's week 5. Let's see. Let me pull this back up. Here. Week 5 is when we have the full slate of the SEC games. We got Georgia and Auburn, Alabama, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, A&M, Arkansas, Florida, Kentucky, and Missouri and Vanderbilt. So week 5 is when we really get the full slate of the SEC games going forward. I'm tired of these cupcake games. No, we have cupcake games next week. We got week 4. Excuse me. We go to week 4. It's week 4. We still have the cupcakes as Tennessee plays but Texas San Antonio. Charlotte plays Florida. Georgia plays UAB. Missouri plays Memphis. So and I can't. Hopefully we go to 9 games, man. When I was really hoping we go to 9 games. When Texas and Oklahoma came in next season, but yeah, I agree. Tennessee's quarterback is not. Tennessee really hasn't looked good this year, man. They really haven't. They beat a bad Virginia team. and they beat Austin P. What did he do? So I don't know why everybody thinks Tennessee's going to blow Florida out, not win, just blow them out. I just don't see. I mean, I might be wrong. I mean, Tennessee might go out tomorrow night and beat the brakes off the Gators and put Florida into a tailspin. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it. But yeah, man. So we got a few games tomorrow that could be good, but for the most part, we got it's another ho, especially in college football, another ho hum week. Do we even have a ranked matchup? Let me look here. Yeah. Tennessee's not the same team as last year because Hendon Hooker is gone. Man, I don't think we even have a ranked matchup this week. And that's a shame. Week 3, and there's really no intriguing matchups. None. There's no ranked team versus ranked team. College football needs to fix that. All these next week we got some ranked matchups potentially. We got UCLA and Utah, Oregon State, Washington State, Ole Miss, Alabama, Colorado, Oregon, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Iowa, Penn State. So next week is week 4. We got some good matchups. But man, I wish we had some good early matchups. Early on, more matchups early on in the season. At least one a week, maybe 1 or 2. But yeah, Tennessee's their offensive line's not very good. Tennessee's, I mean, I really haven't watched their game. I watched bits and pieces of their games, but right, they're not the same team as last year. Their OC's at South Florida now, and of course Hendon Hooker is not there no more. But yeah, that's it. I'm really intrigued with that game. Hopefully, I'm doing that game tomorrow night. Hopefully, I'm in a good mood that night. Hopefully, I'm not in a bad mood. And I might do the Colorado State game. That all depends if I'm tired or not. That game comes on like 9 o'clock at night. And if I do that game, that means I'm going to be up for a long time tomorrow. So I'm 47 years old. I can't stay up like I used to. I'm gonna have to get some espresso shots or something. If I want to stay up tomorrow, if I want to stay up and watch Colorado and Colorado State, I'm curious now what Colorado does. I think they're gonna beat the brakes off of. I think they're gonna beat the brakes after what the coach said for the Rams. Just to add some fuel to the fire. I think the Buffaloes are going to beat the brakes off them, and then that sets up a big matchup next week. Yeah, I think it is going to be boring. I think it will be boring. That's one of the reasons why I might not do it, because I want to be up till late at night calling a game that's really, really, really boring. But so I have it set, but it's unlisted on my channel. So it all depends on how I feel late in the day. If LSU loses, I might not. I'll probably be so mad I won't be doing that game. Man, so man, all right, man. That's gonna be. I think it's gonna wrap it up, man. As I plan to do this every week, so hopefully this stream can get more traction on YouTube. As Rome wasn't built in a day, so. But hopefully, once we get to SEC play. And we have more SEC games involving SEC teams, there'll be a little more interest in SEC football. Because right now we still have cupcake games, which is kind of I hate it. Hopefully in 2025 they'll go to non-SEC games, and we can cut one of these cupcake games off, especially late in the year. It's late in the year when the week before the last week. When a bunch of SEC schools, LSU included, plays cupcakes. That shouldn't happen in week 11. There should be a rule where you have to get those non-con games done in the first like 4 weeks. There's no reason for LSU to play. We play like I forgot who we play. That next to last game, but it's some cupcake. It's, but yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early. I'm gonna probably start the stream about 15 minutes before, about 15 to 10 minutes before the game starts. Game's at noon Eastern, 11 Central, 11 local kickoff for me. So it's 11 o'clock for me. So I got to get a good night's sleep, and maybe I'll make some mimosas or some screwdrivers for that game tomorrow. Maybe I'll go buy some vodka and some OJ. I can get some screwdrivers for tomorrow morning. All right, man. I will see you guys tomorrow in the A's of M for the Tigers and the Bulldogs. Thank you everybody for popping on in. As I'll do this every week. I'm trying to figure out maybe what a good day. Maybe I'll keep it on a Friday. We'll see. But you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys.